Hi everyone, this is Alert Day Trading. The purpose of this video and the videos I make is to journal my trades, notice any mistakes I'm making, focus on good behaviors. I just want to talk about some of the trades I took today. The most recent being TME. And I noticed that we were above the all-time highs. I did not notice it at the open, and if I had, I probably would have taken this nice trade, break above 24.50, and we went all the way up to 26.70. So that's a really nice trade right there, although I just did not notice it. And then here, if I saw it, this would have been another decent entry. When I first noticed the stock, though, we were trading right about here, and I noticed a small pullback holding above this high. And so the 5-minute chart was a little cleaner here, and I ended up taking the entry at the break above 26, risking 15 cents. And we went all the way up to 26.70, so that's about for almost 5 risk targets. I ended up getting almost 3 risk targets because I kind of stopped out right here with my remaining shares. So this ended up being almost a risk reward of 1 to 3 with the potential of 1 to 4.5. But once I reach 2 risk targets, I use a trailing stop to see, because usually I notice once I get to 2, we have good potential. And obviously the stock is still holding nicely above the EMA, but I just got stopped out on my remaining shares within 10 cents. So if we were holding above maybe 26.50s, I would still be in the trade. We are above 26.50s, but if we hadn't broken below it, I would still be in the trade. So that's my only winner for today, but it was a really nice winner. Negated 2, almost a little bit more than 2 of my losers today. I took 3 losers and 1 winner today. So the day is a little bit in the red. So it's a small losing day. So I'm okay with that. But that's really, it's important to notice that even though I had only 1 winner, that 1 winner negated 2 of my losers. And so only 1 of my losers is having weight on my P&L. So, maybe 1 more winner and I might be above the break-even level, depending what kind of winner that would be. So that's important to still think in probabilities, not to get caught up. It was a little difficult taking 3 losing trades in a row. But I told myself if I take 4 losing trades, I'll probably be done for the day, and then come back the next day. And that 4th trade ended up being a winner, negating 2 of the losers. So the other 2 trades I took today was, I think it was ACRS and let's see here. Yeah, and this is a bit frustrating because my entry was at 1582. I was using the 3-minute time frame. So let's see here. 15. This was the entry right here. And it was breaking above this red line, which I thought was pretty strong resistance. We held and literally entered the trade, within a few cents, and then just kind of turned right around and I got stopped out. And you can see the stock breaking above higher. I'm wondering if I had, let's see if I stuck with it. The 5-minute, I think I only took 1 trade, with this one. The 5-minute I wasn't crazy about. Let's see what the 10-minute looks like. 10-minute, that was pretty valid. So the 10-minute This would have been the nice entry right here, stop loss right below here. So if I had stuck around and watched the 10-minute chart, I probably would be in this trade. Now, I guess the lesson would be, so if I take a loss on the 3-minute, that kind of gives me some negative feelings about the stock itself, but I know that larger time frames have a tendency to come back. So I guess what I need to do is put a note to kind of keep watch of certain stocks that I take losers on, just to remind myself that even though I'm looking at other tickers, to keep looking back. Or because once I take a loss, I generally try not to keep trading that stock, but we were still holding above these levels, the EMA, and so this would have been a nice one to kind of re-enter on. Let's see what the 15-minute looks like. And the 15-minute is even more cleaner, or it's even cleaner than the 10-minute. So this one also would have been really nice. So that's a bummer, but it's a good lesson for me to, even though if I take a loser, to make a note and just keep reminding myself, because I think, like I mentioned, once I take that loss, I try not to go back to that stock, but I should, and I know that larger time frames have a tendency to come back, so I need to keep aware of that. And the only other, I guess I took another loser, so here's, oh, that's right, so this was another losing trade I took, and here was the entry right here. The problem with this one is, you can kind of draw these lines, and even though we were above the EMA and above the level of resistance that I kind of drew on the chart, you can see that we kind of broke below this pattern, and so we were trending lower. Once we broke below that pattern, that's a negative signal, and I know better than that, so I should have just kind of left this alone. But I entered the trade anyway. I guess in a fear of missing out, I stuck to my risk, so kept my loss small. And the other trade I took today was with GM. Here's another trade that's trading above my original entry point, but it's not part of the trade. That happens a lot. You get stopped out and the trade turns around, but it's okay, because not always does that happen. You'll see the trade continue going down, and that's why you really got to stick, or I really have to stick to my stop loss levels. So here I thought we would have a good chance of breaking above the 5440s, and you can see this red candle, and got stopped out. And the other thing that I noticed today was the SPY was trading. It opened above. We opened nicely today in the markets, but you can see this kind of downtrend right here. And this is kind of where I took all my losses. So, and I was aware of that. And my mistake was that I kind of just should have sat on the sidelines, knowing that we were trending lower. And as you can see here, we had a green candle and we couldn't break below these levels. And this is where I ended up taking my winning trade. So I'm sure there has to be some correlation with that, taking 3 losses on the downtrend and then taking a winner here. So that is definitely something I need to focus on. So 2 things that I can remember will be to, maybe stay on the sidelines, as you notice, as I noticed the SPY trending down. Don't have this fear of missing out. It doesn't mean that the trade won't work out. It just means that you have a less probability of the trade being a winner. It's a lot of selling in the market for the SPY to be dropping like this. So what are the chances that the one stock that I'm in is going to go against the market? But if you know, here we can see we're ranging, moving up and down, up, now moving back down. So I think it's good to kind of stick with what the market is doing, not try to go against it. Yeah, there might be that one winner while the market's going down, but I don't think that's a good long-term strategy. So that's one thing to focus on. And the other would be to make note of stocks that have potential on larger time frames when I take loss on the smaller time frame. So I remember to look back and not forget about it just because I took one losing trade on it. So those are the two things that I'm going to be working on going forward. I'm going to make note of that. And that's pretty much it for today. So again, just to remind you, the purpose of this video and the videos I make is to journal my trades, notice any mistakes I'm making, see if there's any corrections I could be making. And if you can learn from any of that, that is definitely a positive. And good luck.